Hello everyone, this is Natalia Ito and I'm a CPA with Colorado Business CPA. In this video, I would like to discuss about the EIDL loan, Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Many of our business clients, and I'm sure you are one of them, received the EIDL loans and they asking questions like, how can I use those funds correctly so I will not get in trouble with the SBA? By the way, in this video, we'll talk about the 5 things you can use the money for. In the next video, we'll be talking about the 5 things you cannot use the money for. So meanwhile, please subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and if you have any questions, call Colorado Business CPA, 1-800-5040-CPA. So let's discuss about what can you use the money for. So the very first thing is obviously paying yourself for the services you provide to your company, right? So in the first thing, you want to make sure your PPP loan money have been used completely, because that's what the PPP loan money for, right? To pay the salary to yourself as well as to your employees. So if you run out of the money, now you can start using EIDL money. Like if you're, for example, if you are S corporation owner, you would pay yourself a reasonable salary, and therefore you can use that money to pay yourself a salary, provided that you are providing services to your company, right? If you are an LLC, limited liability company owner, and you're providing services to your company, basically you're going to get paid just exactly the same you used to be paid in the past, taking the member draws, and that would be considered your salary, because this is how LLC members getting paid. The second thing is you're using the money for the regular operating expenses in your business, such as rent, utilities, software, inventory, merchant fees, professional fees, travel, education, insurance. Whatever expenses you have in your business, you can use the EIDL money to pay for those expenses. So the third thing you can use the money for is accounts payable. Basically, when you received services, or received the services, or maybe ordered inventory, and then you were issued an invoice. Right now you have to pay for this invoice. So therefore, some business owners actually input the invoice in the system, in the accounting system, and then they pay on the invoice. Well, that's considered accounts payable, and therefore you can pay your accounts payable. So when people say, well, what about the credit card? Can I pay off my credit card? It was just very interesting, because let's say you cannot pay off your long-term debt, you cannot pay off your credit cards, but you can pay the credit card if you paid for the business expenses. Basically, you're paying for a credit card that you pay business expenses. For example, let's say you had a cash flow issue, and then you are waiting for the EIDL money, but the business continues to operate, and you did have business expenses. So you used your credit card, right? You used your credit card, you paid for whatever, maybe even rent, utilities, you paid for telephone, insurance, whatever you use your credit card for. So now when you receive the EIDL money, you can use that EIDL money to pay off this credit card, because that's basically happened within a month or two, and then you're basically paying for the business expenses. So the next thing you can use, number 4, is the fixed debt payments to maintain the current status of your debt obligations. Like, for example, if you have a business line of credit, as I said, you cannot refinance, you cannot use EIDL money to pay off that line of credit just because, this one is 3.75%, this one 7.55%. No, you cannot use that, but you can use the EIDL money to pay like maybe minimum due, or whatever the payments you have to make on your long-term debt obligations, short-term loan obligations, even credit cards. You can use EIDL money to pay that. And number 5 is other extraordinary items that occurred because of the disaster. Like, for example, maybe like in our case, like our employees had to work from home. So like we would use the EIDL money, theoretically, right? Maybe to buy more technology, equipment, maybe pay for the, internet security, even internet, right? Because now we were forced to work from home. So, and then like, for example, maybe in your case, maybe you had to pay an extra rent, or you had to have a storage, and then you incurred some expenses because of the disaster. So even if maybe some debt became due because of the disaster, so you can use the EIDL money to pay that. So again, in the next video, we'll talk about how not to use EIDL money for. And then again, if you like the video, please subscribe to our channel and like it. And if you have any questions, just give us a call. We are Colorado Business CPA, 1-800-5040-272. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.